Hello and welcome to another phone recorded and somewhat phone edited version of the Nordic Stitches podcast. I am Lilli, I'm your hostess. I'm a knitwear designer coming to you from central Norway. So, I am not moving again until this fall, but I will be spending a lot of months. I announced this on Instagram and a few people thought that I was moving up north again. This is not the case. But I will be spending, from mid to late April and up till fall, maybe even a little bit off the fall, in the Arctic. If you've been with this channel for a while, you will know about this place already because I have lived there. I moved from there in May last year, so May 2018. I will be using mom's house as a base, but I will do quite a bit of traveling a little bit around in the area and do a lot of recording for the new and upcoming video channel here on YouTube. More on that when that is actually getting closer to being released. But I am going to put all my possessions on storage because I see no point on having them here and paying rent for an apartment that I'm not going to live in for, 4 to 6 months. All depending on when I get tired and when my mom gets tired of me. Haha. Anyway, I am just super excited to get to meet my mom again and to go back to the midnight sun and the hiking trails that I have missed since I moved away. If you are not familiar, I moved away from the Arctic because of health issues. They don't allow me to live anywhere very cold, and the winters up there, well, let's just say that in Bergen, one of my favorite cities in the world that's located on the west coast, again with the geography lesson, if you haven't checked out the last video, you can do that up here or up there, whatever the eye pops up. But they have crocuses flowering, and my mom has like a foot of snow. So it's just, the climate here are... it's all really depending on where you are, but we do have the polar circle just, cutting us in half almost. So I will be moving back for several months. So from May and out the summer and early fall, this knitting podcast will be brought to you from the Arctic. And if you want to stay tuned on all the travels and all the things you can do up there and just... get a glimpse of the midnight sun and hiking trails in the mountains, and I'm so excited. And all that jazz, you can, watch this space and follow me on Instagram because I will be announcing it there as well. Okay. The second announcement that I have for this week, I'm just going to change my grip because the cup is a little warm still. I am actually the sponsor of these a week. Why do I always do that? This week's episode of the Very Pink Knits podcast. If you're not familiar, you really should do something about that. I have followed Stacy's YouTube channel for a while, the Very Pink Knits YouTube channel. Whenever I wondered, or still actually to this day, wonder about a new technique, that is the go-to channel. It's the library for any knitter. And when they announced a few years back that they were she and a friend were starting up a knitting podcast, I started listening in from episode 1. I sent in a question in the early days just because, just in case they didn't get a lot of questions. It took a couple of months for my questions to get on the air, so no danger there. And then I sent in a tip, and I was actually messaged by Anna, who has the Anna Knitter podcast. She's having an Instagram break, so I can't tag her over there in the show notes, but I will be trying to link her podcast down below. she messaged me letting me know that they had just announced on their podcast that they wanted makers to come on and sponsor them. And I was like, well, I had just moved, it was close to Christmas, and I was up in the air about whether or not I should do it. But once I caught up on the episodes of the Very Pink Notes podcast, because there was a couple of weeks in December I didn't listen or watch podcasts, just because moving December 1st can be stressful if you celebrate Christmas. But once I caught up and I listened to them talk, and it was just something very inviting, so I just jumped on board and I sent them an email. They asked me if I wanted to record my own ad for their show, and I said, of course, no problem. Not thinking about the amount of people listening in. So if you're coming here from having listened to them, thank you. Also, if you haven't already checked them out, I will leave their link in the description box below. Their podcast is based on questions from their listeners about knitting. So basically, if you love their YouTube channel, you're going to love their audio podcast. Last week, I held up my Beaverton kofte. Kofte, again, if you're new, is a traditional Norwegian, Scandinavian, all over the place colorwork cardigan. And I said I was gonna knit on it until I was out of yarn. Then I tried it on and I changed my mind. So I am using Rauma lammull. So this is 100% Norwegian lamb's wool, produced in Norway and available in several different places online for people outside the country. You can go over to Skandir. So the host of Skandir Knits, Lilli, has a Ravelry group with a Norwegian help desk, and in that group thread you can find links to places you can purchase this yarn online. Very important to say that. Didn't in the last episode. Anyway, I have picked up for the first, so you can see here the knitting needle is here, and I've picked up all this. And I'm thinking that I'm not going to have buttons in this, so I'm not going to be knitting button bands. I'm just going to knit two very thick, wide rather, rib edges, folds. You know exactly what I mean. And then I will just cut it open, and on the inside here, I will just sew on, I will fold it in, and I will sew on one of those bands, fabric bands that I have yet to purchase. So that is the plan. And it's actually, let's see if I can show you just about where it lands on me. So it's there. Yeah, okay, so it's approximately mid-thigh, not on. So a little bit higher on the thigh maybe. I'm just gonna center myself. So yeah, that is the progress on my Beaverton kofte. Totally changed my mind. There you have it. I am knitting on another Christmas pair of socks. I'm shamelessly copying any of the Stranded Dye Works yarns and podcast. And this is Giddy Yarns, all of the other reindeer. I do believe I mentioned this last week on my Selbu sock blockers from Patricia of P Fortune and Knitography, which I will be mentioning in my incoming goodies because she came out with something amazing that I just had to have. And this yarn is just so much fun. It is a merge striping yarn. Merged self-striping yarn. And as you can see, just because of my heel flap and gusset area, it will be pooling a little bit, but oh my god, hello. Cell phone, thank you. Anyway, love the yarn, love the blockers. I am currently past the gusset area and done with the decreases on my second sock. Like I said, shamelessly copying Amy to make myself a box of Christmas socks. And this is sock number 2. And I will just keep using my winter progress keeper that I made myself and throughout whatever season I'm knitting on these. So I'm using 2mm needles for all my socks, just because the more dense the fabric, the longer the wear, and I don't want to have to re-knit my Christmas box of socks for a very long time. I'm also using my DPN pouch by Barbara from Knitting I Love. I love her accessories and perfect. She's now also has a variation for longer DPNs if you prefer those. I don't know why you would, because they're just in the way. Personal opinion, of course. So that is a work in progress. That is living in my dodgy bag by a wonderful Ali of the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is one of my favorite bags. It's the first one she gifted me and that she sewed and sent to me. And oh yeah, another Barbara Knitting I Love accessory is this sock keychain that you just, clip on to your bag and you know what's in there. It's perfect for us who have more than one project on the go. I'm also a member of Ali's Dodgy, let's see if I can get that to focus, Dodgy Bag Members Club. Kind of cool. I have 2 bags and 2 badges. I'm a very, very proud member. There's nothing dodgy about her bags. She's pure talent from A to Z, or in Norway, A til Å. Because we have 3 more letters in our, I was about to say vocabulary there. Alphabet, that's the word. I think that's the key word here for, well, coffee. Not editing, this is gonna be fun. And then I posted on Instagram one of those Ask Me Anything. One of you had a lot of questions, which made it fun for me actually, which was kind of the point. Anyway, one of you asked if I could show off the progress on my scrap yarn blankets on the next podcast, and I said sure. So here we go. I have 2 that I'm currently working on, and the first is, well, it's not big squares. I think I have details on this on my project page on Ravelry, which is linked down below. So this is the biggest one. I'm aiming for a bed size, so queen size bed. And I'm just over halfway there with the width. And in case you're wondering, I weave in my ends as I go, except for in the corners, because I like to weave in my ends in the seam between the squares, as you can see. And with the exception of maybe a maximum at this point, a handful of squares, I am only using hand-dyed yarns, which makes it look a lot more pretty in my eyes, because there's so much independent talent that I love and appreciate in this blanket. And at this point it's warm while working on it, so if ever I am cold at night and sitting in my couch watching Netflix, this is what I'm working on. And when I'm done with that, I, have more scraps left. So I put a square in this blanket. And this one I'm not too fussy about. I use both commercial yarns and indie dyed, and if there is, let's see if I can find an example of this. The rainbow stripe. So Helen of Giddy Yarns has a colorway called Storm's End, which is a self-striping rainbow colored sock yarn. And so for these 2 squares, I just kept on knitting. So as you can see, I actually ended with purple. Oh, wait. I have no idea what... Okay, so I knit this one first. No, No, I knit this one first because I ended with the I ended with the green, and then I started this one, and and both of them are worked from center and out. And I'm sure by now that there are several videos on YouTube on how to actually knit this blanket. Also, there are several free patterns on Ravelry, so if you want to knit one of these, you can. It's all out there in the big library that is the internet. Okay, so that was the blankets. Now for some drop spinning. I'm just gonna rearrange myself a little bit again, and I will be right back. Okay, so for the drop spinning section, I do spin yarn on drop spindles. I have inherited an antique wheel from my great-great-gran, but current living situations and life are actually preventing me from putting time into the little things that I need to do to actually get that to operate. It is operable, it is usable to spin with. It even has this tiny little piece of scrap yarn on it that my great-gran spun up. So I'm just like, oh, I need to frame that. I need to do that actually, and not just talk about it. But I do spin on a drop spindle. Several drop spindles actually, and except for one drop spindle, I purchased my drop spindles over at Spin City, UK. Lovely and talented Louise. I love her drop spindles. And as you can probably tell, there's a little bit of tape on the top there because they have a tendency to drop to the floor. Anyway, I haven't unpacked all the equipment after I moved in here December 1st. Anyway, I purchased some spinning fiber, black spinning fiber with glitter stellina in it. And it's called the Black Fairy Smooth Carded Bats from the Fairy Dust Collection. It's 65 grams, and I'm just gonna cover my address. I got it off of Etsy. I hope that you can see that. It's Fiber Quirks. And well, I don't think I'm going to continue to spin with this because it's not that I don't like it and love it. It's because I bought it for a specific reason. So last year I spun up this yarn that I got in a gift box that Molly sent me, Molly of a Homespun House, after, before rather, she moved back to America. And she wanted to know if I wanted to have some of the fiber, and I said, well, yes, because addicted. And this is from Rolex in the latte colorway, and it is from Wren and Woolly, and it is 35 grams in this one and 39 grams in this one. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a sparkle in there. I hope you can see that. Anyway, it goes from this delicate gray to this very dark brown. And so I wanted to knit this up into a shawl where I just cake up both and alternate, as if you would in a sweater, for example, when you use hand-dyed yarns, to avoid the stripy effect but more get the fade effect. This is, what I have in my head in a way, in a shawl. And I wanted to end it with a very dark or black with the same sparkles. But if I hold this up, that is way too big of a difference for me. So I'm showing you this because I have a question. If you spin or dye fiber, let me know if you can match this yarn with my preferences. So either a dark brown like this with just a little bit of sparkle in it, or a black with the little bit of sparkle. There's not a lot of colors in this sparkle, but there is in this black one. So I'm just, yeah, I'm gonna put it away and decide later. The yarn that I dyed naturally with, you know, white vinegar and onion skins and blackberries. I did post about this on Instagram, and there are all 50-gram hanks. I had 2 100-gram hanks, so one with silver sparkle and one just natural. They are sock yarns, superwash merino, and this is what they look like up close. So for this one I just used the blackberries, and for this one I used a darker mix of the onion skins. I had more onion skins in less water, and I'm just gonna have to pick back up the other hank. And for these two, I had less onion skins in the bag, and these are the ones with the sparkle. I actually love how these turned out. I didn't think that I would, but I do. So these will probably be gifts or something, so I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so I dyed some yarn. I did write down what I did, but I do not have any plans at the current time to become a yarn dyer, so there's that. Let me know in the comment down below if you enjoy just spur of the moment yarn dyeing in the kitchen, because it can be fun. Yeah, I have no idea what to use them for, but this is not my kind of color at all. So this will probably be a gift, and this will probably be a gift. Probably is the word. This will be a gift. But these two, I don't know, shawl, who knows? Who knows? I dyed some yarn and I wanted to tell you. So onion skins, and onion skins from yellow onion skins, and blackberries from the garden that my daddy has. I still have some blackberries left, but I do love blackberries and cookies and stuff, so I think I might just take some. I got a few incoming goodies that I purchased. Whenever I say I got this for free, or they sent me and I'm going to review, or I am sponsored, if you don't hear that, I got it for myself with my own money. Yes, I do. I know a lot of people actually think that just because you pop something on the screen, it's sponsored. There are rules actually, global rules as to commercializing things. So if you have something that's a commercial for somebody that they are paying you to put on there, either in terms of free stuff or money, you are actually abide by law to put that out there. So if I don't say it, I got it for myself. Okay. This is the sock stick that I got from Patricia. Just gonna hold it the right way. Over at P Fortune and Knitography. Talked about her when I talked about the socks. And the reason I just went bananas, I guess, and just said, I want it, is because not only does she include cuff, so you can start measuring the second you have cast on, but you can also measure the foot. Yes. She's also got these in inches now, by the way, for all of you who do not speak metric. And I thought all rulers and measure tapes had both, but you know, what do I know? I speak metric. So anyway, when you cast on, you can easily place it on to see how long your leg is, which is brilliant. But if you place this part into your heel, you can also now measure the foot of your sock. If that's not brilliant, nothing is. So I'm just, yeah, I'm super happy to have this. I have a lot of her stuff now, which is awesome. Love it. Something else that I got. I actually messaged Barbara when she had a teaser in her... Oh no! My coffee cup is replaced with a knitting needle. It's a lot of bending, you guys. Okay, so Barbara from Knitting I Love had a teaser on her Instagram saying that she had her own designs now in progress for the pouches and tags and all that jazz that I have shown you on numerous times here on the channel, just because I'm a huge fan of what she does, and I love shopping in her shop. And I think in December I showed you a circular... This is so weird for a Norwegian to try and say this without fault. I showed you the circular needle pouch. That's a mouthful. Don't try to say that 5 times fast. With snow designs, with snowflakes designs on them, and it said "Let it snow" in the back. And now, so I sent her a message and saying, let me know when your new designs is up, because I really want to purchase them and show them off on the channel. And so she sent me a message letting me know it was up in her shop, and she hadn't announced it yet, so I was the first to know. And this is the DPN pouch that I got. I'm trying to make this as crinkle-free as possible. And there we go. How beautiful is that? Right? So I now have a matching set. It's almost spring here, but you know, I can use this on my Christmas socks from now on. So I got that. And Ali of Little Drops of Wonderful, thank you for what's the word I'm looking for? Oh no, brain fart, no. Enabling. Oh, how many seconds was that? Phew, I almost started to sweat. Who am I kidding? I started to sweat because it's hot in here because I have the sun on my windows today. Anyway, Ali, thank you for enabling me. She posted a picture on her Instagram wearing a sweater, well, a pullover, where it said knitter on the front. And she tagged the friend of hers that makes it. So from the second that I saw Ali's post to the second that I had pressed send message, I don't think it was 10 seconds. I just knew I wanted that. So I asked Becky, I think it's Becky. Oh no, if it's not Becky, I'm so sorry. Anyway, Little and Loud. Mainly, I don't think she's got pictures of adult wear, but she does have adult wear options. She's got prints for kiddos and, you know, all that jazz. And Ali showed off her sweater. So I got myself a knitter t-shirt. Totally, you know, boob shot right there. But so knitter in rose gold, because I love me some rose gold. And it is just the softest, amazing t-shirt. And if you want to see it on me, just go check out my Instagram. I just do not feel up for a stage change at this second. So amazing, amazing woman, super helpful and very underpriced. So if you want to make sure to grab something before she realizes that, before she realizes that, you might want to head on over now. Yeah. Like I said, I will be podcasting from the Arctic in a few months. Just because I'm starting a new YouTube channel doesn't mean that this knitting podcast won't continue. But like I touched upon in episode 21, I have less knitting hours in a day, hence less content, and therefore also longer in between the podcasts. This month it will probably be a little more often, just because I do have a lot of things coming up, and the collaboration, which I will be back to hopefully next week if the yarn arrives, to talk about and give a little bit more details about the sock collection coming this summer. There will not be a knit along for them. I've had a few people ask and say that they are so sad that there won't be a knit along for them. I've said that I won't host a knit along this year for simple reasons. Yeah, feel free to make your own knit along on them. But the club will be available hopefully June 1st, which is Nordic Stitches' 3rd birthday. So yes, stay tuned for that. Next episode, I will be talking more about that club, the yarn, the collaboration, and I'll do my darn just to finish at least one thing so I have something nitty to show you. So thank you so much for watching. Whoever you are, wherever you are, be kind, be good, go out there and create yourself some awesome memories. And until the next video, I hope that you have a very crafty and wonderful time. Bye. Oh, and click the subscribe button and the like button and leave a comment down below because I love interacting with you. Bye.